Right. Recap on belly down armbar as much as I can remember of it. So we'll just get into the position. You're in your knees, bro. Perfect. Okay, so from here, let's look about if he grips this leg, which is a common reaction. Our goal obviously is to roll him. So from our position, I'm going to get the crook of my arm around Dean's arm. I'm going to grab my thigh. I'm going to start to come belly down, and I put my left instep on the back of his head. Right hand grabs the shin, and now just roll him over. Leg comes over, and we're into the juji. If he still hasn't made that grip, we covered this earlier in the mesocycle. I get the crook of my arm around his wrist, and from there I can pry open the knee, and now I have the armbar. That was our first thing we covered. Then we looked at how to control posture. So just more from this position. Just turn this out. So another thing when we're in the belly down armbar position, if Dean makes the grip on the leg, is he wants to posture up. Okay, so first thing we're thinking about is Keenan making this Khmer grip on his arm. So I get hand to hand. My forearm is in the crook of his arm, and my goal is to bring his shoulder down as I raise his elbow. Try to posture now. Difficult. The other thing is, in the belly down armbar we do want to go deep, but if I feel he's posturing, I'm going to bring my right knee towards my face so it's shallow, and I'm going to flare my knee out to the side, try to posture. So that's the second thing. And I can keep Dane's shoulders in front of his hips. See the way he's crouched over there? Anytime he postures, his shoulders come in line with his hips. So the third thing I'm thinking about is what I'm doing with my bottom leg. I just put it on his instep, his hip. My instep, my left instep is on his left hip. So pulling this in, flaring this, and kicking at his far hip. Try to posture, bro. And last but not least, I go belly down and bring my instep over the back of his head. Try to posture now. So that's dealing with posture control. Then we want to look at my arm control. Let's look at initially whenever I broke this grip. So I've actually physically broke the grip, and it's here. Okay, so for me to control Dane's posture, if my grip is over the shoulder, just posture up there, bro. See the way? Yeah, keep going, pull your arm out, yeah, take it back. So the detail was my grip comes under the armpit. It's not out here, it's there. Okay, so now from that position, if he tries to posture, and that's with the arm free. Okay, if he's made the grip on the leg, we talked about how for me to prize this way, I would have to physically let go and try and make the Khmer grip, and Dean's already out, pulling his arm out. So the detail was this reverse Khmer grip. I can't physically, I want to get the crook of my arm around here. The problem is, I have to let go of my grip, and as I slide down, Dean just rips his arm right out, rip it right out, yeah, pull it, perfect, take it back. So the detail was, left hand finds the thigh, right hand grabs the wrist, and then I hold it there, and now the crook of my arm goes around the wrist. Once I'm in that position, I'm going to grab the shin, and from there all I'm going to do is pull his foot towards his butt. This lifts his knee off the mat, and once it does, I can just prise that out, and again from that position I'll be finishing just from with the arm not gripping his leg. So that's our two positions of our arms. Let's talk about the leg battle now. So we have 3 positions with our lead leg and 3 positions with our bottom leg. The goal always is to go deep with the right leg. See the way I put it under his far armpit? The problem with that is, from the Khmer control position, the minute I start going deep and go belly down, I have no control of his posture, and Dean just splits up and rips his arm out. Okay, so the best way to go deep is to go shallow first and pull him forward to get his shoulders on the mat, So I stay on my left hip, and then I thread that through to the far armpit. Try to posture now, bro. The weight of my leg now is keeping his right shoulder on the mat. So our three positions are deep, and that's where I really want it. Shallow, and we'll talk about that in a minute, will be your second base grip. The other time placement would be on this hip, and that's probably if he tripods up, just tripod up, bro, and tries to walk around my head. Yeah, perfect. I can prise or keep his foot back, and now he's let go of his grip. I can start working the submission. So far hip or far armpit, shallow here, or foot on the hip. That is the lead leg. The secondary leg, we talked about this at the start, is either going to be on his hip, pushing to keep his shoulders in front of his hips so I can keep his posture broken. The other time would be, say I broke the grip and I wanted to finish from here. I can plant my left foot on the mat so it's not on his hip under him to get my back on the mat, and now from there I can finish from there. So that's your second position. It's either on the far hip, on the mat, okay? But best of all for that foot is over the back of his head, okay? So really the ideal positioning for your legs is lead leg under the far armpit, secondary leg on the back of his head, and more likely he's going to have his grips from there. Okay, so now we're looking into the Chimera grip. So say we're in our position, just turn this way, bro. So that's with this Chimera grip here. Now ideally this is still a great grip, which would be the Chimera trap, okay? If you can get that, that's good. The problem is from here it's difficult to get. So we talked about how my left will control, right will come down, and now I can switch to that Chimera trap. So if you have it, the way to finish it or the way to break that grip is my lead leg, this time it will go on the hip. I'm going to bring my left knee through that space so the outside of my left knee is on the wrist, and now from there it's just a pull. Okay, once I break that grip, I'm going to glue his elbow, okay, to my chest, and now I can just crank up. It's a shoulder lock. So then we are looking at things that Dean will do to try and close down the belly down armbar position. The first one is the step over. So say I'm here doing all the things right, and Dean actually just steps over my head with his right leg, left leg, and comes around to the other side and cross faces me. Nice. Take it back a step. So 3 stages to that. Okay. So we're here. So anytime I start to feel him going to step over, my right hand can post here on his leg. My left grabs my thigh, and notice the way as he tried to step over, his knee come off the mat. Keep your grip. So now he's got the grip but his knee's off, so that's quite easy for me to slide to the end of the lever and just pry that off. Okay. This time I'm late and he gets one leg over. Perfect. I can still use, keep your grip if you can, bro. I can still use this right hand to push and come back out again. And again from there I'm pricing that off and I'll finish. And even if he gets 2 legs over my head, try to put weight on me. You can't, why not? Because of this shallow leg. Okay. Even from there, I mean there's an arm bar if you choose to. The reason this sequence works so well is because of the shallow lead leg. Let's just take a look at that again. Yeah, perfect. So say from here, watch what happens if I'm deep with my right leg. Alright, and now Dean steps over. Yeah, perfect. He can really put weight on me, right, and crush me. Take it back a step. But the minute I'm here, and I start to feel him stepping, I pull my knee towards my chest. That's everything. Okay. So now I've missed the first step. I was doing that. I missed it. Keep going. I missed this, and he keeps going. Even from there. Put weight on me, bro. He can't. With my shin is keeping him back. Just stay there. So now my hand could just find his legs and I can come back around again. Okay, and then I can work on splitting that grip and doing all that stuff. So that's if he steps over. The other reaction is just Dean can try and roll out of the belly down armbar. So we had a few scenarios from that. So say from here. Okay, let's just say I'm in my Chimera grip position. Dean decides to roll over his right shoulder. I'm going to roll with him, make my triangle, and now from there I have the armbar. So I was initially on my left side. As he rolled, I went with him, and I ended up on my right side. So that's our first option. The second option is I'm late and I didn't roll with him. Keep going, roll. So I'm still on my left side. We talked about earlier in the mesocycle, I can cross my ankles from there and hit that broomstick armbar. That's your second option. But now, because of the weakness of this armbar, Dean can sit up. So I turn my hip and hook my foot behind the back of his leg. I keep control of the elbow line. Leg comes over and I bring him back down again. And we're into the juji. So that is if he's rolling. Okay. Let's look at if I free the arm and Dean tries to free his elbow. So we're here. So let's just say from that position, I managed to break the grip. I'm about to go for the submission, okay? And Dean's gonna fall onto his left hip. Yeah, it's perfect. I've nearly lost the elbow line from this position. So all I'm gonna do is come back and I put the crook of my arm around his arm here. Once I'm in that position and I have the bite on the elbow, right hand finds the tricep, left hand finds the wrist. And now from there to get the submission, I just turn my left knee in. That's if I lose the elbow. Sometimes when you're here, okay, just reset again. Another thing that could be thinking about is once I've freed this arm, we talked about how I want to go deep with my right leg and I put my left foot over the back of his head. This is fine if the grip is in here. The problem now is when his arm is free, Dean can actually push my left foot off his head and posture. The minute he postures and his arm is free, yeah, posture up, I'm here, all I'm going to do is invert. And I can take it from this position, try to posture, yep, when we end up here, leg comes over, and now we're in the armbar position. Let's look at that again. Try to actually come all the way up if you can. So I think the main thing to take away from this is do not invert if he's got a grip on his leg. I'm going to show what that means. So say we're here. Anytime we're here, Dane has made the grip, okay? And now I haven't been particular about the earlier things we talked about with positioning of my legs and positioning of my hands. And Dane starts to posture from here, posture up, perfect. If I actually start to invert from here, alright, and come around, this sucks. Keep your grip, keep your grip, keep your grip. Because now he can put a lot of pressure on me, yeah, stack me and stuff. Relax. Because he's strong, he's made that grip at his thigh. The only time you're going to invert is if the arm isn't connected. So say we're here. So anytime he's made that grip, you want to be controlling his posture with your legs and arms, which he covered, and looking to focus on breaking this grip. Do not invert if you've messed up posturing, because it's just going to go sour for you. So if I just say I've broken the grip and we're here, I had my foot behind the back of his head doing everything right, Dane starts to push that off and he postures right up, perfect. I'm going to invert all the way around. So again, from here this can go a number of ways. I can make a hook around the back of his head. This leg comes over, I can finish from here. Posture up, yes. Or from there, we have it here. Okay. Maybe need to do that again, do it? The grimace on his face. So that is if he tries to posture with the arm free. Let's look at if he tries to pin my legs. So, say we're in our position here. So let's just say Dane stuffs my left leg and puts his shin over it. Perfect, okay. My right foot's gonna come out. Okay. Pushing his thigh. Left hand finds my thigh and I can start to push on this knee to free my left leg. Once it's there, it finds the hip again, and I'm coming back down again, and now I can start to work the grip break. Okay. Sometimes from there, he would just use his left hand to push my left foot down, but he doesn't pin it with his shin. If that's the case, my right foot's coming to this hip, and now I can bring my leg out. I'll bring it as far as I can, but my leg is longer than his hand, so I can physically come up on my shoulder, bring it out of arm's length, and now bring it over the back of his head. As I have it on the back of his head, we're starting to work our grip breaks again. That's what Dane can do on the secondary leg, but he can also pin the front or the lead leg. So from there, if I feel I'm pushing my right foot down, I just turn into a shallow grip. If that makes sense. The other thing is when I turn shallow and I physically break that grip, okay, I can put my left foot on the mat and start to hip into them to get the sub. Dane's counter is to roll over his shoulder, and when he does, we just finish from the juji. So I can bait him into rolling, okay, rather than waiting for him to roll. So the other thing was, we were in our position, and now from there, Dane actually pushed my right foot between his legs. Perfect. This is not a good position for me, because now if he actually rolls over his shoulder, my leg is trapped, and now I can start pushing that off and getting his elbow out and all that stuff. So we really don't want it going between the legs, but if it does, and we're here, and he has pushed it between the legs, I don't need to bring it back out in the direction that it came. So once I'm in that position, I can grab my own thigh, start pushing, and I can physically bring my foot back out and put it on his hip. Once we're in that position, now I can start to work that grip, and once I've broken the grip, now I can bring it back in again, okay, and start to play the game. We also looked at, that's pinning the legs. What happens if he pins my arm? So from there, I'm in a really good position here, but what's going to happen is Dane takes his right knee and actually puts it between my grip. Now there's no way of finishing. So my right hand is going to keep the grip on the elbow. I can physically pull this hand out, bring it back in front of the knee, and now we're back into the whole game again. Okay, that's if he pins the arm. So after all that slobbering, what do I want to be doing from the belly down armbar position? Just keep turning, bro. No, other way. You're nice. So when I get to here, the two main pathways are, one, break this grip, or two, roll him. So again, obviously the best way to break the grip from this position is that reverse Khmer grip. Find that, go to the wrist, find the shin, and now what happens is I can physically pull his heel towards his butt, and once his knee comes off, I just peel that off. Again, I'm keeping his elbow glued to my body. Left foot is in the far hip, right foot is under the armpit. I'm on my side, I'm not belly down. Come to the end of the lever, and now I can just hip in. I put tension in the arm. That should be your goal, to break the grip. Or maybe I'm here and the arm is free. The other thing I can be doing is flaring this knee out and actually coming flat onto my back. The submission's on, but Dane can get out of it obviously by rolling. And when he does, I'll let that off. I'm coming with it. And again, we've talked about the Juji Katami position. Foot comes over, and we're back into our position. So you can either break the grip from that position or force him into rolling, and then you finish from the Juji Katami position. But the main thing is, even though it's called a belly down armbar position, you're never really belly down when you finish it. So 15 vids in one vid. You got all that?
Yeah. Got one,